Hey everyone, welcome back to our read aloud. So, in our last chapter, Taylor and her twin sister Tara just had this extremely weird shopping spree in Beverly Hills, I think it was, and Dr. Hatch was buying them all this expensive items, which is kind of weird because a few days prior he was trying to seems like scare Taylor. So, let's read and see kind of what's going on with his motive there. Chapter 27, Hitching a Ride. Jack lived about 12 blocks from my home in a poor neighborhood. I found his address in the school directory, then went to see him. Jack's house was at the end of a short dead end road called Leslie Street, an aged box of a home with chipped aluminum siding and faded cloth awnings. The front window had been broken and was covered with cardboard that was kept in place with duct tape. The yard was overgrown with weeds and paracantha bushes. There were at least 6 cars at the house, some of them parked on the grass or on the road or in front, most with flat tires and rusted bodies. Only one or two of them looked like they might actually run. So it seems like we're back with Michael Vay now, and I don't remember if we're supposed to know who Jack is. So let's just keep reading. I climbed 3 steps to the astroturf covered porch. The doorbell had yellowed masking tape over it with the word broke written in marker. I opened the rusted screen door and knocked on the wood door behind it. A minute or so later, Jack answered. He was wearing a t shirt with the sleeves cut off, exposing his muscular arms and shoulders, as well as his tattoo. I forced myself not to blink. What do you want? He asked. I need to talk to you. I'm listening. The TV was blaring behind him, and I wondered if someone else was inside. Not here. I need to talk to you someplace more private. Why? I just do. He looked at me for a moment, then stepped out on the front porch, shutting the door behind him. Go ahead. My old man can't hear you. I need a ride. You think I'm your chauffeur now? To Pasadena. His face looked even more distressed. Isn't that like in California? Yeah. Man, what is this? A shakedown? I went to Dahlstrom like you said. I'm not going to let you keep bullying me. I'll go to the teachers and tell them what you did. Okay, I'm going to pause. So I remember now. Jack must be one of the bullies that was initially picking on Michael, but now Michael's asking him for a ride to California. Calm down, I said. I'm not here to bully you. You're the only one I can go to with this. Why not your old man? I don't have a father. Then your mother? Don't you watch the news? No, my mother was kidnapped. I'm pretty sure she's in Pasadena. That's why I need a ride there. Why don't you call the police? It's complicated. They can't help. Dude, I'm not driving all the way to California. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a wad of bills I had taken from my mom's secret stash. Look, I've got money. I'll pay you $300. It's all I've got. He eyed the money. I could tell he was wavering. Where'd you get that kind of dough? It's my mom's emergency stash. 300 bucks, huh? When do you need to go? As soon as possible. Just us and my friend Austin. What if I bring someone to help drive? Who? Wade. I hated Wade even more than Mitchell. But if it got me to California sooner, I'd deal with it. Okay. What do we do after we're there? You drop us off and you're done. That's it. No ride back? No, I don't know how long we'll be. Jack looked over at his car, a restored 1980 Chevy Camaro with a navy blue body and yellow racing stripe. And you want to leave today, huh? As soon as possible. I just need to get some things from my house and pick up Austin. He scratched his stomach, then slowly exhaled. Okay, I'll call Wade. Where do you live? Not far, over by the 7-Eleven off of 13th East. We'll meet you in the 7-Eleven parking lot in an hour. Deal? I reached out my hand, but he just looked at it fearfully. I'm not going to shock you. He took my hand and we shook. Deal. Okay, pause. I kind of like it when stories do this and they have kind of the like bully character team up with the good guy, as in a way it kind of like is a redemption story for Jack and Wade. So that's kind of cool. Let's keep reading. I walked back to the apartment and knocked on Austin's door. We leave in an hour. He looked at me as if I'd spoken in Chinese. Leave? Where? California. Didn't you think I was serious? With Jack? I nodded. Yeah, I purposely didn't say anything about Wade. Austin looked anxious enough without being thrown in the car with his arch enemy. He looked back over his shoulder. Man, my mom's going to be chapped at me. She's going to ground me until I'm 50. Ground you from what? I asked. Homework or clogging? We both knew that Austin pretty much spent all his time in his room anyway. From hanging out with you. Yeah, I said, well, I wish my mom was around to ground me. I slid my hands in my pockets. Like I said, you don't have to go. I never said I wasn't going, he said. Let me get a few things. I'll be right there. About 10 minutes later, Austin knocked on my apartment door to let himself in. He had a backpack that was mostly filled with junk food, like potato chips and cheese puffs. What did you tell your mom? I told her that I was going to hang out with you. She's going to be worried out of her skull, I said. She'll probably call the police. I thought of that. I taped a note to your door. It says I went to Comic-Con with you and my uncle. Will she believe that? I don't know, but that's where my uncle is this week. He's so hardcore he never takes his cell phone, so my mom can't check. Brilliant, I said. I picked up my bag. Ready? Let's do this. I looked out to make sure no one was watching. Then I locked our apartment door and we walked down the hall and out the building. The 7-Eleven was only 50 yards from my home. Jack wasn't there yet, so we went inside and got cherry cola Slurpees and sat on the curb to wait. What if he doesn't come? Austin asked. He'll come. Besides, I'm paying him $300. Where did you get $300? My mom's emergency fund. I rubbed one foot with the other. If there ever was an emergency, this is it. About 15 minutes later, Jack's Camaro pulled into the parking lot and up to the gas pumps. There he is, I said. Austin squinted. Who's that in the car with him? Wade. Austin's eyes widened. You didn't tell me Wade was coming. Sorry, it was part of the deal. I hate Wade. It's no big deal. You don't understand. I really, really hate Wade. Like, if we were in a shark tank and reached up to me for help, I'd throw chum in the water. Austin has a great imagination. Look, I said, we don't have a lot of options. Wade can help drive. Besides, he's not going to do anything to you. He's afraid of me. Austin just shook his head. This just keeps getting worse. Jack and Wade both climbed out of the car. Jack walked up to me. I need money for gas. I took the roll of bills out of my pocket and counted out 150 here. Half now, half when we get there. He stuck his jaw out a little. Fair enough. Wade looked at Austin and smiled. Hey, I know you. I didn't recognize you with your pants on. Stay away from me. Relax, Wade said. That was before I found out your friend's a taser. He smiled and went inside the store. Austin and I carried our packs over to the car. Jack opened the trunk and we put our things inside. Jack finished filling the car with gas about the time Wade came back out. He had pork rinds, mini donuts, beef jerky, and 6 packs of Red Bull. Let's go, boys. Sitting back, Jack said to Wade, What? I want to talk to Michael. But back now. Wade scowled, threw Jack the bag of jerky, and climbed in the back seat. Austin stared at me with the look of a man climbing into a snake pit, but he got in anyway. I shut my door and Jack fired up the Camaro. I think he's taken off the muffler to make it louder, because it roared like a jet. He looked over at me and smiled wryly. California, here we come. I wonder what Jack wants to talk to Michael about. Interesting. Chapter 28, Road Trip. A few minutes after we were on the highway, Jack turned to me, offering his open bag of beef jerky. Here, help yourself. I took a piece. Thanks. He set the bag to the side. If you want more, it's right here. He rubbed his chin. So how long have you been shocking people? After all the years I'd spent hiding my power, it was strange talking so openly about it. Since I was a kid, I said, like 2 or 3. Do you know how much it hurts? I shook my head. Not really. I've never been shocked. From the back seat came Austin's first words since he'd climbed into the car. You've never been shocked? I don't think I can be, I said. So you could like grab a power line and it wouldn't hurt you, Wade asked. I don't know, but when I was 4, I chewed through the vacuum cleaner's power cord and it shorted out in my mouth. I just remember it tickled a little, and afterward I felt really good. Wait, Austin said, you mean it's possible that electricity makes you stronger? Like I said, I don't know. I've never tested it. You could, eat batteries, Wade said. No, I said they'd break my teeth. Austin looked happy again as he finally had something to think about besides Wade. We need to test this, he said. I'll think of a way to test this. Pause. Okay, that whole conversation was one chapter, which tells me that's going to be really important in the future of the story. Michael not being able to be electrocuted and possibly using electricity to make his power stronger. All right, chapter 29, according to plan. Okay, it looks like we're back now with Taylor. Hatch sat back in a tucked leather chair in his plush mahogany-paneled office at the academy. 4 flat-screen television monitors played on one wall. All were set to different channels, but all of them were covering the same story. In the past hour, 2 British Airways jets leaving London's Heathrow Airport had crashed shortly after takeoff, strewing strewing wreckage across miles of coastland. He watched it all with a knowing smile. His phone buzzed. Sir, your phone call. Is the line secure? Yes, sir. Put him through. Hatch lifted the receiver. Hatch. The voice was gravelly and coarse with a slight British accent. I just heard the news. Well done. Just as planned. BA is claiming mechanical difficulties. That's a little hard to swallow with 2 wrecks within the same hour, but not surprising. They have to tell the public something. So far, there are also 3 terrorist groups claiming responsibility, but they're late to the party. We gave British Airways a specific schedule a week in advance. There will be another accident each day they don't meet our payment schedule. Has any money been transferred yet? Not yet, but it will be. We're offering them a bargain. Those 747-800s are going for a little over 300 million each, not to mention the lawsuits and loss of business. British Air can pay the ransom or shut down now. Who's next? Emirates Airline. As soon as they saw the British Airways crash, they responded to our demand. First payment is 75 million. With all that oil money, they won't even miss it. Where's our boy? Still in London. As soon as we get payment, we'll move him to Rome. Very well, take good care of him. We have a whole contingency with him. He's got more security than the Queen. Too bad we don't have a few more just like him, Hatch smiled. We might. We found the last glow. You found Michael Vey? Yes, and we ran a diagnosis of Vey's E patterns. He has the strongest L waves we've come across yet. He could be the most powerful glow of them all. Okay, I'm going to pause. I don't really understand what's going on here, but it seems like Dr. Hatch and the people at the Academy are bribing the British Airways and then the Emirates Airways for some reason, trying to get money from them. And if they don't get the money in time, they're crashing their planes, probably with one of the students' electrical powers. But I'm wondering why they're doing that. And it says they said, where's our boy? And I'm wondering, who is their boy? Who is this boy that they're worried about? He's still in London and they're going to move him to Rome. He's got more security than the Queen, so he must be a powerful person. I'm not quite sure who he is. But them finding Michael Vey is part of their evil plan, it seems. All right, let's keep reading. Promising. Where are you keeping him? We don't have him yet, but we have his mother, and he's on his way to Pasadena right now. He has the idea that he's going to rescue his mother. He'll be disappointed to learn that she's not here. Will he cooperate? You know what it's like bringing in these glows when they're older. But he's been living just a little above poverty, and like I said, we have his mother. He'll be persuaded. Inform the board the moment you have him. Of course. Hatch set down the phone. He loved it when a plan came together, and everything was going according to plan. All right, well, this has been a very interesting read aloud. We'll stop here for today. See you next time.